All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're cracking open Rick Rustin's book, Connect, Relate, Motivate. And we're going to pull out the most powerful, practical tools you can start using, well, right now. Think of this as your guide to building genuinely stronger, better relationships with pretty much everyone in your life.
So right off the bat, the book hits us with this foundational premise. It basically says that success in your career, your family, your friendships, you name it, isn't just about talent or hard work. It's built on your ability to truly connect with other people.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The big idea here is that effective communication isn't about memorizing the right lines or using clever techniques. Nope, it's an inside job. It starts with you.
And this is a core concept, the inside-out principle. It's this idea that everything people see on the outside, your words, your tone, your body language, is just a mirror reflecting what's going on inside you. Your self-talk, what you believe, where your focus is, that's the source of it all.
Okay, so if it all starts from the inside, then our first step, logically, isn't to talk, it's to listen. It's about learning to tune into other people's worlds and really try to see things from their point of view before we even think about getting our own message across.
Let's talk about something the book calls rules of engagement. You see, we all have these invisible rule books that we carry around. We learn them from our families, our culture, and they dictate how we're supposed to communicate, especially when things get a little heated. The catch: nobody ever tells you what their rules are.
The author gives this perfect example from his own life, his very first argument with his wife. See, his family's rule was you stay in the room and you hash it out no matter what. You get it all out on the table, but her family's rule was the exact opposite. When things get tense, you take a break, you cool down, and you talk about it later when you're both calm. So they weren't just arguing about, who was right or wrong, they were playing by two completely different sets of rules.
And that story just perfectly tees up this quote from Stephen Covey. We don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. All of our past experiences, our beliefs, our moods, they all act like a filter. It means two people can be in the exact same situation and experience two totally different realities.
So how can we start to understand these different realities a little better? Well, the book gives us this really simple but super helpful tool, the 4 personality colors. Just think of them as communication shortcuts. You've got red, who's all about efficiency. Their motto is, get it done. Then there's gold, the social butterfly, who's always thinking, let's connect. Aqua is the meticulous one, focused on the process and making sure we get it right. And finally, blue, the logical thinker who just wants everyone to follow the system.
And here's why this matters so much. When you only speak your language, you might connect with someone's head. They'll get the logic. But when you make an effort to understand their color and speak their language, that's when you connect with their heart. That's when you build real rapport.
All right, so you've learned how to tune in. Now it's time to flip the switch and talk about broadcasting your own message. How do you actually show up with energy, with focus, and inspire the people around you?
We often get obsessed with finding the perfect words. But look at this. Now, people debate the exact numbers here all the time, but the core principle is rock solid. When you're talking to someone face to face, how you say it is way more important than what you say. Your body language, your tone of voice, that's what carries the real weight.
So where does that powerful energy come from? It all comes down to focus. It's a simple rule of the universe. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Think about it. The second you decide you want to buy a red car, what happens? Suddenly you see red cars everywhere. It's the same thing with your energy. You have to deliberately choose where to aim your focus. And if you want a mind-blowing example of this in action, get this. The author has recorded a brand new, energetic voicemail message every single day since 1997. That's more than 7,500 messages. Can you imagine the discipline? That one small act communicated so much to his clients, that he was consistent, he was positive, and he cared about the details.
And you can channel that same energy to help people grow, whether you're a boss, a parent, a friend, whatever. It's a simple 3-step process. First, you just state the reality. Here's where we are right now. Second, you paint a vision of what's possible. Here's where you could be. And third, you inspire them and help them bridge that gap.
But let's be real. It doesn't matter how good your communication skills are, conflict is going to happen. It's just part of life. So the next big piece of the puzzle is learning how to navigate those disagreements and actually use them to build stronger connections.
This is so important. When a conflict kicks off, our natural instinct is to either defend our position or rush to find a solution.
But the book argues that the real first step is to just stop and listen. Not listen so you can plan your comeback, but listen to genuinely, truly understand what the situation looks like from their side.
And here's a brilliant little framework for doing just that, called a reality bridge. Step 1, you state the facts of what happened, and then you immediately open the door with the magic words, "Help me understand." Step 2, once you both get it, you shift from blame to teamwork. Okay, so how can we make sure this doesn't happen again? And finally, step 3, you reinforce the relationship. You make it clear that you're in this together.
So as we start to bring this all together, we land on what might be the simplest, but maybe the most profound tools of all. After all the strategies and frameworks, sometimes the strongest connections are built on the simple disciplines of basic courtesy and gratitude.
And we're right back to that inside-out principle, aren't we? Real courtesy isn't just about saying please and thank you. It's an internal value. It has to pass what's called the rude to the waiter test. You know what I'm talking about. How a person treats someone who they don't need anything from? Well, that tells you everything you need to know about their character.
And the power of gratitude, specifically a handwritten note? It's almost like a superpower. The author tells this story where a simple thank you note sent after a quick meeting led to a private, one-on-one masterclass with an incredibly successful mentor. Here's another one. A different handwritten note sent to a head of security just to say thanks for doing a good job resulted in an out-of-the-blue gift of front-row tickets to a Michael Jackson concert. Just wow. And get this, that same head of security, he built his entire business on this idea. Every time he got a thank you note from a client, he would forward it to potential new clients as proof of his team's great work. He literally used the power of gratitude to build his empire. It just goes to show you, these simple acts can open unbelievable doors.
So let's just quickly recap the whole journey. It all begins inside you, with your own internal state. From there, you learn to tune into their world by understanding their hidden rules and their personality color. Then you can broadcast your own message with real energy and focus. You use that understanding to build bridges through conflict instead of walls, and you ground every single interaction in the simple, powerful discipline of gratitude.
And that leaves us with one final and pretty important question to think about for ourselves. If it's true, if the quality of our relationships is really a reflection of our internal world, what's the one thing you need to work on within yourself starting today to completely transform the way you connect with the people who matter most in your life?